guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I have been doing these bookish videos for a few videos now, and I'm really enjoying them. I hope you're enjoying them as well. They're a lot of fun for me. I recently got back into reading fiction books through a really tough mental health season, and I am loving it. I found BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram, all the things. That's my rooster. And I have just dove in wholeheartedly. So I'm going to be doing a September reading wrap up and October TBR in this video. Originally, I wanted this to be two different videos. I filmed the September reading wrap up. My rooster won't stop crowing, and I lost the footage. And since I didn't get to get it out like yesterday, like October 1st or the end of September, I feel like I need to do it with the October TBR. That way, like, it just doesn't all get lost in translation. He's really wanting you to know he's here today. So that is my rooster. So we're gonna start with the September TBR. In September, I believe at the beginning of the month, I found my kids' old Kindle Fires, and then I quickly downloaded a 2-month trial of Kindle Unlimited, and I have been really gobbling up books on Kindle Unlimited that I will talk about. But this was the ones that I physically had. This was an add-in at the end of the month as well. I think I only started with 4 or 5 books, and then it did grow. And I thought it was an aggressive TBR for September already, but as I was like literally devouring the books, I'm like, oh, this TBR is in the bag. So the first one I'm going to start with is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This was my first Taylor Jenkins Reid book. This is actually on loan from a friend, and it was so good. Like, the characters in it mesmerized me. It has all the old Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor type feel, and it just transports you back into like this glamorous old Hollywood, but with all these dark secrets, and just the relationships were so complex. This book had me thinking a lot. I didn't see a lot of the unknown twists that you discover in this book. Some of the relationships I didn't suspect at all. So that had me for a little bit. I overall thought this was such a good book. I believe I rated it 5 stars. And listen, if you're here for like a really like strong book critic, that's never gonna be me. If I enjoy it, if it makes me feel anything, and if I, you know, walk away thinking about it, it's probably gonna be a 5 star, because I could appreciate the author and their art. So I definitely want to try some more of the Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, but this was my first, and I really did enjoy it. I thought it was great, and I, again, couldn't stop thinking about the characters, so I thought that was so fun. And then I also continued on in this cozy mystery series. This is the Apple Cider, or the Cider Shop Mysteries. I read the first one of these around Christmas time last year, and then this is set in more of a summertime, so this is why it had to be in September for me, because it's like, okay, summer is ending and that feel is going to be gone. But this continues following Winnie and her grandma, and they own an apple orchard and a cider shop, and murder happens during an event they're having there, and then they have to figure it out, and I love it. And this is the first book I tried to tab, and I'm also going to be a tabber who's not very like technical or precise about like, this was a plot point, this was character development. I'm just tabbing what makes me feel something, like a good quote, or like, oh my gosh, that was a sweet moment, or ooh, that could be something for later for the mystery. Just anything I want to remember, I tabbed. So that was a lot of fun. I do think I'll be tabbing more in the future. I also have a vlog I want to make including this book, because in cozy mysteries, in some of them, there are fun little recipes at the back. In fact, I think I'm gonna make this one today. I have to take a couple in our church a meal, and this might be a fun little recipe to make for a dessert for them, so I think I might do that. But this is a really fun read if you just like warm fuzzy feelings set in a cider shop, nothing too serious, a little bit wholesome murder. This is a book for you. Then I listened to on Libby The Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit. This is part of the Inheritance Games series. So I have now finished all 3. So this is the series. It is really good. I really enjoy the way Jennifer Lynn Barnes writes. The chapters are really short. There's a lot of action. You're moving through these books very quickly. They're so good. So this follows a girl who is potentially a complete stranger to a billionaire, or so you think, and she inherits his billions. And the only catch is she has to live in the house with his family, who he didn't leave his money to, for a year to inherit it. And there's all kinds of like mysteries and games of Clue and just thought-provoking things that you're following along because the billionaire loved games. So great books. I will say the narrator of these, of the Libby version, sort of annoyed me. So that part was my only like critique. Overall, I say these are both, it's a 5-star series to me. I highly recommend it. I think it's so fun if you like a really, again, wholesome, lighthearted mystery with a lot of like brain teasers and quick action-packed move along story. I think they're great. But the narrator, this is set in Texas, and her attempt at a Texas accent was wanting. And then there's a few times where she made some of the male characters sound whiny, where I just don't feel like they would have been whiny in that situation. So I had to really just like look past the narrator when I was reading or listening to these. But again, the story is great. That is just my small like, maybe read the physical copy, don't listen. And then when I picked up Final Gambit and it was the same narrator, I'm like, shoot. All right. But I like to listen to him on my way to and from work, and then I have like about an hour of setup at my work where I can have a headphone in and like listen to him. So I was able to get through more books because I was listening to an Audible version of a few. So I muscled through, you know. I took one for the team because we needed to get this September TBR done. And then I read a very anticipated by me book, Divine Rivals. So for me, I like to do at least one fantasy. I was gonna say mystery. I love fantasy reads. So I wanted to do one fantasy, but I feel like I don't know how many fantasies in 1 month I could do unless it's a series. Like, so this was my fantasy for this month, was Divine Rivals. And this is such a fun fantasy because it almost feels like you're reading about World War II, except the war is between the gods. And that is kind of a fun element to it. And then there's a magical typewriter, and this character, our main girl character, thinks she's writing to her brother at war. It turns out she's writing to her rival. It is enemies to lovers. It is so good. It leaves you on a cliffhanger that had me in tears. And I cannot wait for the second book, which I believe comes out in December. So I think it comes out the day after Christmas, actually. So that's already pre-ordered. Don't you worry about that. And I am so excited for it. So highly, definitely a 5-star read for me. It is so fun. Again, like if you're just dipping your toe into fantasy genre, I feel like this is a really safe book to read because it's not anything crazy. Like it's not dragons or anything like that. It's just the gods are at war. So I really liked this one. It was so good. And then I will get to my Kindle Unlimited reads for September. And let me tell you, when I say I dove, like high dive, right into the Chestnut Springs world. If you're unfamiliar with Chestnut Springs, I'll try to leave a graphic right here. Right now it's 4 books. The 5th book comes out in October, so I'll be talking about that more later. And it follows the Eaton family, which is brothers and a friend who's like an adopted brother, and we walk through their love stories. And these love stories are top tier. One, it's a small town. They own a ranch. They're cowboys. They even describe the house that the dad lives in as like something off the set of Yellowstone, which if you've been around for a while, I'm a huge Yellowstone fan. So you had me at they live in a lodge like Yellowstone. So there's that. And again, let me pull them up because I want to tell you the right names because I keep messing up the names for whatever reason. So you start off with Flawless, and this follows Rhett and Summer. Rhett is a bull rider and Summer is his agent's daughter, so it's like that, what do you call it, like forbidden love or whatever. You shouldn't be loving her. And I tell you what, the men in these books, like the chivalry that they show is so amazing. The women are fierce. Like all the women main characters I want to be best friends with. Like they are so amazing. Oh my gosh, they are spicy and there is language. They're definitely an adult book, but I'm telling you what, I could not put it down. Heartless is book number 2, and that follows Willa and Cade. Cade's a single dad, Willa is his nanny, who is also Summer from our first book's best friend. So that is so fun. The way Elsie Silver like intertwined the characters and kind of brought them into each book, and you're still getting to see them and see what's going on, I loved. There's so much like found family between the 4 books. There's so much like she's dealing with issues, but like in the most respectable, best way. Like there was so many things that in these books that I could not put them down. Each one of these books I think took me 2 days to read because I literally could not put them down. And since it was on my Kindle Unlimited, I was able to read it on my phone whenever I had a moment, and so I did. I gobbled them up. So you have Heartless, and then you have Powerless, which is Jasper and crap, what's his girl's name? Why am I forgetting? What? Sloane. Jasper and Sloane. What am I doing? So Sloane is the cousin of the Eatons, and Jasper had a troubled childhood and ends up being sort of adopted by the Eaton brothers. So he is an Eaton brother, but Sloane, he was kind of raised as if she was his cousin, but they never called each other cousin. They called each other friends because there's always been this little attraction from Sloane to Jasper, at least. And then once everyone's of age, Jasper's like, she's not bad. So they have to go on this road trip together, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. And again, you're getting woven in all the stories from all the other characters, and it's just, I love these books. I love these books. I laughed. I cried. They made me giddy. Like I was literally jumping up and down as soon as the characters like started, like the sparks and the chemistry were flying and they start getting together. Like they made me blush. The spice scenes made me blush. Like every emotion you can have, these books made me feel, and I love them. And I just finished Reckless on September 30th, so it dove into my September read. So I read all 4 in September. Reckless is about Theo and Winter. Winter is Summer's sister, and Theo is Rhett, who is Summer's Summer's person. He mentors Theo. He's a bull rider as well. So you get a bull rider and a doctor. They have a one-night stand. It gets crazy. This book, I literally yelled. I was like, what is actually happening? Like, what is actually happening? It made me have so many emotions. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I don't want to give too much away because they are such good books. Please, 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 if you don't mind spicy, a little bit of spice, some bad language, adult romance, but I don't feel like they'd be like a smutty book. But they're definitely a spicy book. But the romance, like I already said, the characters she writes are superb. The men are great. The women are great. The found family is great. The town is great. The atmosphere is great. I love these books. I love these books. So Chestnut Springs forever. Chestnut Springs forever. I'm moving to Chestnut Springs. Oh my gosh, I'm moving there. And I'm gonna be best friends, and I'm gonna go to the gym with Summer. Anyways, and then I also read Done and Dusted because cowboy romance era, yes please. So this one was so fun. It was Luke Brooks and Clementine, and they again were sort of raised together because Luke Brooks is Clementine's older brother's best friend, and he again had kind of a crappy childhood, so he's out on the ranch all the time. She couldn't stand him, but then everybody grows up, things happen, she comes back, and Luke Brooks is looking pretty good to her. So, and she is looking good to him, but it's his best friend's little sister. So that's a little complicated, right? So it was so cute, so good. Again, I read that one in between some of the Chestnut Springs ones because I was like, okay, cowboy romance, sign me up. Where is the contract? I will read all cowboy romance for the rest of my life. I loved it so much. Sorry, I have to drink. I'm talking too much. That is my September. And here's, I found I really loved having an Audible. I really loved having a book on my Kindle. I keep putting it in my phone because I really, honestly, I have the Kindle app on my phone. I was reading a ton on my phone. And I really loved having a physical copy book. So I really devoured about 3 books a week that way. I was able to listen to one, read one on my Kindle on my downtime or whatever, and then gobble up a physical book too. Because I do love holding a book, smelling a book, flipping a page. I love that whole thing. But it's really convenient on a Kindle. So I do think I might invest in a Paperwhite at some point. But right now, we're thriving with what we got. So that is September. Loved it. Loved it. Loved everything about everything I read. So we're hoping October gives same vibes. So here we go. October. September was like bring in fall. Bring in these feelings. October is going to be the one month where I allow myself all the witchy, spooky, thrillery vibes. Oh, in fact, but thinking of that, I have a book to add to this September TBR because I just remembered I'm going to be reading thrillers. So there might be 2 ads to this. Yeah, we'll see. I still feel like I'll want to read thrillers come November. So these might be pushed to November too, but we'll see. But these are my for sure October reads. And we'll get to these ones. So this is going to be for sure October. These guys. So I'm going to continue on my Cider Shop Mysteries with book number 3. And I think there might be one more. Or this might be it. But this is the Cider Shop Rules. This one is set in fall. Look at that cover. Like, could it be more perfect? Like, that's the vibe. This is the October vibe right here. So I'm going to continue on with it's a fall festival, it's full in swing. Civil War reenactors from 3 counties are partaking in Blossom Valley's tribute to John Brown. Blue Ridge mountain foliage is in full bloom. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. And I actually don't like knowing what the heck's going to happen because they're already a little bit predictable. They're already a little bit cheesy and I love it. Oh, let's see what recipes are in here. Oh, is there no recipes? I'm going to be so upset. Give me something. Like I said, with the other one, I already filmed a little bit of me making one recipe and I'm going to film the rest of it. I am going to be so ticked. There is no recipes in this one. Already losing a star for that. Give me recipes. Okay, I'm excited about that one. And then I'm doing it. In fact, after I'm done recording this video, I'm gonna crack this spine because it's a hardback. I'm not cracking any spine. I have been waiting and I still kind of wanted to wait because the second one of this comes out November 7th. So I was gonna wait till the end of the month to read this because everybody gets left on a cliffhanger, panics, says they can't wait. So I was gonna try to make myself not wait, but I can't wait anymore. I have to read this. I have to read this. And she's a chunker. She's a good little chunker. So it might take me a long time. Knowing me, it probably won't because I get fully consumed into the mysteries and I can't think about anything else until I know that it's done. So I'm ecstatic for this book. Ecstatic. I cannot wait to read this. Cannot wait to review that for you at the end of September. And like I said, I'm going to give into my spooky witchy vibe. So I have the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse. These 2 are a series. And I believe they follow different couples from each book, so kind of like Chestnut Springs. The X-Hex is first and the Kiss Curse comes next. So these scream October. They're about these cute witches and I think she hexes her ex and then that has to unfold. So I'm excited about these. These are gonna be fun ones. And I'm trying to kind of push these. So I'm reading these the week of Halloween, but we'll see if that happens. And then I also have the Naturals because I'm done with the Inheritance game series, although I need Brothers Hawthorne. But I wanted more Jennifer Lynn Barnes because I feel like you can consume her books so quickly and they're just so good, and everybody is raving about this series. So I'm gonna start it because I figure this is gonna be good, fun, take me through the fall wintry months getting through this series. So I'm gonna be starting The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I'm so pumped about it. I only have book 1 so far, and then, like I said, give me some thrillers, give me some darkness, give me some spooky. So this one I've been wanting to read, The Good Sister by Sally Hempworth. I've heard good things about it. Again, I try to go in pretty blind because I am such a good guesser, and I could see things coming. So I don't want to know anything, so I don't start my little wheels turning. I want to go in blind and just go on the ride and enjoy. So I'm pretty pumped about this one. I just know it's like family secrets. Everyone has a dark side. Okay, and then I have not read a Lucy Foley, and I have heard great things about The Paris Apartment. Again, I feel like it's dark, spooky, great thriller for the month of October. So this one is definitely, I'm excited about. I've been saving it, I've been waiting. I'm like waiting for the vibe. It's still pretty like 75 and sunny, but I feel like once, you know, it gets on a foggy morning, just crack open this fun one. And then on Audible, on Libby, I have started reading, I started on October 1st, None Shall Sleep. So do they have like a thing about this? This book, it's by Ellie Marney. Can you see? None Shall Sleep. And I plan on getting the second one in that series. It's not on Audible on Libby, so I might have to make a choice if it's worth a credit or not. We'll see how this one ends, but it is so interesting. So already it's giving that spooky true crime feeling. It is about a girl who survived a serial killer, and now she has to go and help them interview serial killers to try to find patterns and stuff. It's so good, and it's definitely like, I don't know, I can like picture it in a show. Like I'm here. The writing is great. I'm in the moment. I'm loving it. And I am starting my, okay, let's give Mandy anxiety because I cannot handle scary stuff. But in October, I like to scare myself. So that's what this is. And then I do want to download on the Kindle Unlimited. I'm torn between continuing with my Elsie Silver series because, well, one, I'm definitely going to be getting Hopeless on October 13th. That is for sure. For sure. That's Bo and Bailey. And I'm so excited. Can't even. So I'm tempted to continue on with her, the sister. They have a sister as well, Violet, and there's a whole series about her and her friends, which I think you're supposed to have read those first and then go to Chestnut Springs, but I don't care. I will go backwards and I will see what happened over there, because they do make appearances in the Chestnut Springs too. So I'm really excited to read that one. But then there's a whole bunch of really fun fall romances, so I probably will end up getting some of those, but I haven't totally decided to pick those, so you'll have to wait and see when I do an October reading wrap up. But I like I said, I love having a fantasy, I love having a mystery, and I love having a romance. It's like they palette cleanse each other for me, and it amplifies everything else for me. Because then, like, when I'm wanting to be serious, read my mystery. When I'm wanting to just be giddy and girly, read my romance. And when I'm just wanting to like feel some action and stuff, then read my fantasy book. So I'm liking this little thing I'm doing, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my reads. So let me know what you're reading for October, what you read for September. Join my tribe, like, subscribe, join my tribe. This is new. We're going down a new path with this YouTube for me. I have some great ideas for fall. I have some ideas if this turns more into like a bookstagram, which I'm feeling like that might be, again, with some lifestyle it's sprinkled in because I can't help but be me. But for so long I've felt like I've needed to find some kind of niche because my videos are kind of all over the place. So I feel like the books are gonna be what binds my theming for this channel. The book that binds. That would be a good name for a bookstore. Anyways, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you are smiling because I made you laugh somehow, because I am a hot mess. But I would love if you stuck around. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about these books, what you are reading right now, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.